Monday morning, and I'm planning on heading back to Mun in about 5 hours or so. But it is such a nice morning out. I think I'm gonna head up to the market and check out some of the goods they have for sale there. If you have been watching my previous vlogs, you know that I'm currently in Longwa village. If you're new, make sure you check out the previous videos. It'll give you a little bit more context as to what Longwa is all about. But in a nutshell, I came here to interview the last of the Cognac headhunters. But anyway, I've got some time to kill, so we're gonna go for a little walk. The village itself is kind of situated on the top of a mountain. There's only one road that leads in and out of Longwa, but there are a ton of these small paths that take you all over the place. This one here takes you directly to what's known as the junction, and that's where the market is at. And as you can see, the views here are spectacular. For the most part, it seems that everyone lives in these wooden thatched houses. The only concrete houses that I've seen are for foreigners, actually, like the homestay that I'm at. And there's no running water to any of the homes in this village, even my homestay. All of the water that people use for the day needs to be brought in every morning, not just drinking water, water that you use for cleaning, water that you use for bathing, and even water that you use for flushing. Now obviously the water is coming from the mountain springs, but I did see several wells tapped all throughout this village, so it's not like they're going to a waterfall and having to fill up a bucket. There are central locations in each of the home clusters, and some of the homes were close enough to the spring where they could actually run a hose from the spring into their house. But for the most part, the villagers spend all morning gathering water and also getting wood because they have to keep that fire going all day. So this path that I'm walking on here is actually one of the main paths, so it's nice and big and very well kept. But most of the paths, especially the ones that take you to the water sources, are off the beaten path, so to speak. They're very small and very treacherous, and when it gets wet and rainy, one wrong step could send you tumbling down the side of the mountain. Imagine trying to walk these paths carrying containers of water or wood. It's not easy, and actually is kind of dangerous. Alright, and this is the junction / market area. Not too many stores here, just a handful. Most of them are closed right now because it's so early. And there are a couple guys hanging around, but they weren't really that friendly. I noticed that when I don't have my guide with me, people really aren't that interested in me, and they just actually are kind of standoffish. But shortly after I arrived, the Indian army rolled through, and they quickly told me to shut off my camera. They did not want me filming there. Although Nagaland has been at peace for several years now, the Indian army does still maintain a presence just to make sure things stay that way. By the way, this is the oldest tree in the village. It was here before the village was. I don't know if it has any other significance other than being just old, but past this tree is the chief's house. I was hoping that the army would leave at some point so I can get some more footage of the junction and market area, but the army didn't leave, so I just bought a few things for breakfast, noodles of course, and now I'm headed back down to my homestay to eat. And speaking of homestays, from what I could gather, there are only 3 homestays in Longwa village. There may be more, but there are only 3 that I know of where foreigners can stay at. That's the Langshan homestay, there's another one close to the junction, and there is one I believe right next to the chief's house. And how did I find this homestay? Well, on a random blog post as I was doing research. All I had was Langshan's email address. I contacted him. He said, sure, just call me when I get to Dibrugarh, and that was it. No reviews, no other information. I was very trusting of Langsha, and it worked out. I mean, I had an amazing time staying with Langsha's family. It's actually the high point of my travel to Nagaland. I think one of the things I enjoyed most about staying in this village was just watching the family kind of go about their daily routine. Oh, and the tea. The tea was really good too. Now, I probably don't have to mention this, but there are no TVs in any of the homes here in this village, no satellite dishes, no cable, but surprisingly, almost everybody has a cell phone. And yes, they do have internet. By the way, the only service provider that works in Longwa is Airtel. Hashtag pro tip. But getting a SIM card is very difficult for a foreigner. Another pro tip. For the most part, this is where the family hangs out, right here in front of the ever-burning fire. They never let this fire go out. It burns 24/7 all day and all night. And above the fire, you'll usually find some wood and maybe various kinds of meats that are being smoked. And by the way, that is Langsha's mother and sister, who spoke absolutely no English. Actually, his sister spoke a tiny bit of English. His mother spoke almost zero English, but they were super friendly to me, super nice to me, treated me like a brother, other than the fact that they did try to sell me things here and there. They're constantly bringing stuff over to me and telling me how much it costs, which I kind of understand. They don't really have no other way to generate income other than selling trinkets to foreigners. But I really enjoyed my time here, and had I known what was going to happen to me in Mon, I would have stayed here for another couple of days. Side note, Nagas love their food spicy, and some people even nibble on a fresh Naga chili dipped in salt on the side. My guy. My guy. 2-minute instant noodle. Masala taste.
2 minutes soon goes.
My tong. Naga chili.
Naga chili.
Naga chili.
Wow. Ayah. May tong. Ate sa am tega. Wow. Saya gala sa puya ila. Ayah. Ho to kapusang. Ayah wow. Zaban trồng ở đây mà thì khá là bờ trồng ngon cô còn riêng chi.
The ladies are watching me eat through the camera. This is really delicious. Very strong turmeric flavor.
Wow. Tham cái cô.
One more.
Ini semua salah là
Và thân mình theo rồi chứ. Bị chắc mà lăng có kim tầm thì lăng cứ
Saya ada di sini.
Mai tang.
Semua nggak salah. Ini nggak aku.
Right after I finished breakfast, I got into a super packed sumo and made my way towards Mon, which is where the next part of my adventure begins. And that's where I'm going to end this video. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.